Whether you're new to pool and practicing the basics, or a more experienced player performing drills to improve your shot making and positional play, the Drill Partner is perfect for you.
All right, welcome back to another episode of Doggin. What's up, Melina?
What's up, man? I'm excited for this show, Joe. I got to be honest with you.
You got to thank me for it. Okay, you got to thank me because the other night I was sitting there. What?
You've been on fire lately. You've been doing a real good job. You might be employee of the week.
Hey, I was sitting there thinking, like, who would be a great person to talk to right about now? And I said, we need to get Wiktor on the show. You know, he just had a big announcement. Obviously, that's something we want to talk about, but there's a lot of other things, right? The way he performed last year, plans for this year. You know, he's just a really interesting guy, and I wanted to talk to him. So you worked your magic. You got him on.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because as soon as you mentioned that to me, I hit him up, and he was like, yeah, I'm willing to. I think he's got a tournament coming up. And luckily, yesterday, whenever you finally confirmed the time, he said, yeah, I'm free. So I'm glad to get him on. He's been on a couple of times before. Great guy, obviously great competitor. We talked about him yesterday on our players to look out for in 2024. Hopefully he didn't see that show, or maybe he did. I don't know. We'll ask him about that. Before we get started, big shout out to all of our sponsors. You see them scrolling through on this side, up and down. You also see Franco Custom Cues and Premier Billiards. We appreciate all of them. Hit the like, hit the share button. We got a busy couple of days in store. I need to get some other guests lined up as well, Joe, but I'm pumped for this one to start off this Friday.
Well, let's bring him in. Let's bring in Wiktor. I'll usher him in. How's it going, Wiktor?
Hi guys. All good. Thank
you. Welcome back, man. Before we got rolling and we were in the green room, we're about to get started. You mentioned to me something I could not believe, and Joey said you mentioned it last time, but you're still going to school right now. Is that right? You're still doing educational stuff.
Yeah, I'm still a student. Maybe I'm not going to school anymore because I finished all the lessons.
Right.
Just about the writing the diploma work, but I just postponed it for the next year because I didn't have enough time to finish it because I was supposed to graduate next month, but things right now I'm quite busy and didn't have time. Always, pool is my priority thing, so always focus on the pool. But besides that, I'm still studying.
What's your major?
Yeah.
What's your major? What are you studying for?
Geodesy and cartography. Do you know?
Are you serious? Did we talk about this before? I have a degree in that.
What is it? Geography?
Yeah, that cartography. I have a certificate in cartography, geographic information systems, all that.
Okay, so if I will have any problems, I will reach you.
Yeah, I mean, we got that connection. We're both amazing pool players. It's awesome.
You guys are like brothers from another mother. Hey, speaking of moms, how important was it from Mama to make sure that you graduated college or university? How much did she push you to keep that going?
My mom, you mean?
Yeah.
Always she always said to me you can't live from pool, it's impossible, and it's tough, but I think I'm quite good at it, so
a little bit. You're doing all right in pool.
I started studying when there was the beginning of the COVID, so I got nothing to do, so I decided to take up the studying, and it's going, and I just don't want to finish right before the finish line, so just trying to graduate.
Finish what you started. It's what I always tell my girls too. If you do something, just make sure you follow through. Don't quit halfway. Don't half-ass it. Just make sure and give it your all. I like that mentality, man.
What attracted you to cartography and geography? I think it's pretty natural for a pool player. It's probably the major of choice because you think about things spatially, where they are in geographic space, and you think about pool balls the same way, right? You got to get on this ball, you got to move it here. So, but what attracted you to it?
Oh, I don't know. I was always into geography, so I didn't really know. I just chose that.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
I used to tell people that some people go to the bathroom and bring a book. I would bring an atlas. I just love maps. So it's kind of cool.
That's awkward, Joe? I don't know. I don't know if we should be telling that story. So, how did you balance when you're competing full time and then you're still having to study? Are you taking stuff with you on the road, or were you doing classes remotely in hotel rooms? What was the last like year or two like for you as you're trying to balance both in life?
Well, usually when I'm like on the road, I don't do anything because like I just want to focus on one thing, on playing pool. And always when I come back, I always make up everything,
Yeah.
and like always after the tournament, not during the tournament, like because it's impossible to focus on the game. Then like between the matches, like it's not good
Right.
to study. I just want to
Were
focus on.
were your professors understanding, and do they know what you do for a living?
Oh yeah, I think they're all aware, and I'm really grateful for this. They are making possible for me to finish this one because it's not easy. It takes also quite a lot of time to uh,
Yeah.
pass all tests and everything. But I'm almost like there. Just last one diploma work, and like that's it.
Well,
Well,
we're at the start of
congratulations,
a
man.
yeah, we're at the start of a new year, so it's always a good time to kind of look back on the year before and maybe assess some of the things that we did well, some of the areas of improvement. Have you kind of taken a look back at your 2023 and thought about maybe some highlights for you and maybe some areas for improvement?
Yeah, probably like it's not anymore. It's not a problem because there was a lot of tournaments, WPA, Metro, like and, like every week there was always something, and I think I played too many tournaments. And I was so exhausted sometimes, and like my results sometimes weren't that good as I was expecting. But overall it was quite good for a year for me. Like especially on the unfortunately right now WPA side because there's still I think a lot of room to improve in metro tournaments because I didn't do that well on that stage. But that's what I'm looking forward in this year.
Well, it was interesting because we interviewed you right after I think you won the Las Vegas Open back in Las Vegas, and you seemed to excel in that race to four format, which a lot of the other pros had a really hard time with. What do you attribute to your success in those events where you're racing to four and having the shootouts? It seems like a pretty high pressure event.
Well, I'm trying to be focused on every game, on every rack, every ball because each ball is really important there. It's only race to four, so you have to be focused all the time. Also, like my break, it's quite good because I can hit the balls quite hard with good cue ball control. With the wooden rack, like it's all about the speed. You cannot like have a short break or whatever. Uh, a lot of safety game. Like
Right.
I like the pool where it's like safeties and like everything, not just running the racks like it was used to maybe like one on the spot with nine ball. It's all there
Just a
running.
run out fest. Yeah, yeah. How much attention are you focusing on when it comes to your safety play and leading up to a tournament? Are you doing drills? Is there specific things that you're working on heading into a big traveling season?
Oh yeah, I'm trying to focus on mostly on a break right now. Figure out because still my break sometimes doesn't work, but also like safety game because ability to make the balls is quite good on my side, I think. So I usually do some stuff like some safety shots, bank shots, jump shots, and some drills like Alex lately taught me a lot. Like he got some big influence on my game, and I'm thankful for this as well. Yeah, like there are so many aspects which I'm trying to focus on.
He talked real highly of you whenever we spoke to him. I think it was the end of last year, Joe. I mean, not 23,
Yeah,
but maybe 22.
who, Alex?
Yeah,
We
yeah,
spoke to him
yeah.
a few weeks ago, but yeah, we
No, I
also,
know, but it
yeah,
was, I think maybe earlier in the year. He talked real highly of you.
yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of complimentary things to say about your game and what your future's looking like. You mentioned WPA and Matchroom events. It didn't translate so well on the Matchroom side of it, but this week it was announced you signed with the WNT. What was that decision like for you? Just given the fact that you didn't have a major victory, but you did have success, let's say on WPA events.
Well, it's mostly there are so many factors which uh, affected my decision. Like first of all, it was like I still have some ambitions. I think there are bigger tournaments on Matchroom side. Much more.
Oh,
Oh,
you still there, Joe?
yeah, I am.
Yeah.
Did we lose him? Maybe he got
It
a
mu-
phone call or something.
I guess it was the Federation calling. WPA is giving him a call as soon as we bring up that question. Let's send him to the back, Joe, and I'll send
All
him a
right,
PM, and then
let's see if
we'll
we can figure it out. No, it's so interesting because obviously we were waiting to hear that answer. I'll say this while he's refreshing and we get him back in, Mike. Out of all the players that I've seen so far that have elected for the World Nineball Tour, I think this one is probably the one that surprised me the most. Maybe this one and Filler. But you kind of got a sense that Filler was kind of heading this direction. But this one kind of surprised me. I think he's back now. Let's see. Are you
see if we can
back?
get him in.
Yeah.
There you are.
Hey,
We got
there he
you,
is.
buddy. Oh, so what
Yeah.
were you saying about weighing the decision?
Yeah, I mean, I just don't want to say that there are no big events on the WPA as well, but I think there
Right.
are much more bigger events in Metro side because in WPA there's only Predator, which is doing really great job to promote also the billiard sports.
Right.
Uh, Also, there are, what is it? There Qatar and China Open, but
Right.
I think that's it from some big tournaments and of course some world team championships and world able and world number probably. Well, that's it. Then you have some.
Oops. Take three, Joe.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna hopefully. I have a feeling
Hopefully.
he's getting messages right now. Hey, we see you on Doggin.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is
We got to get him.
so,
We got. Oh,
yeah.
there he is. Hold on. Let's
Oh,
see.
there he
He's trying
is.
to. Let's see. Let's try to bring it back in.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
we're both dogging it, Joe.
All right, here he is.
You there, Victor?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think it just kind of locked up on us again. Yeah, no, for sure. There's opportunity on both sides, and I like Joey said, it was a surprise to some of us because some of you guys with stronger federations like the Polish and the Germans, we weren't sure which route you guys were going to take. As fans of pool, as me and Joey are, we were really excited to see you join the WNT because we love seeing you compete with all the best players, and it looks like the who's who, you being one of the top 16, all of you guys signed with Matchroom. And I just can't wait for the season to start and all you guys to get out there and battle and showcase your skills.
Well, I would love to play in both, but it's impossible right now. But also there were much more things which make my decision to join the World Nineball Tour. Also, I didn't like some decisions from national coach,
Yeah.
because there, I didn't get permission to play. Unfortunately, the Hanoi Open. I wasn't called up for the European Championships, which I wanted to play but didn't get the spot on a team. So other things preparations for the tournaments, these things I also didn't like. No, it was also tricky. Uh, like he couldn't take out the best from me, and that's what I didn't like as well. That his influence on my game wasn't that good, and that's why I also didn't want to
Do
there.
you feel things like that are more is it more favoritism or politics? Because if you were to ask 100 pool fans who they think are the best Polish players, you and Wojciech, I feel like would be at the top of that list. And it's no disrespect to the other players, because there's tons of great players like Conrad and Misko and Maciel and guys like that. But, a lot of people are really high on your game. So how do you feel like those decisions were made? Was it just performance based, or you feel like there were other factors there?
I don't get your question.
do you think it was like, when decisions like that are made, whether when it comes to you representing for Poland, do you feel like it's more of, is he playing a top 1 or 2 or 3 type of player talent, or is it more of just outside factors?
I mean, it's a tough question, like we are all great players.
Yeah.
I don't want to judge like if I'm the best, or Wojciech or Mieszko or Konrad.
Right.
We are still all very, very good, and hopefully we will improve. But like, I have my own goals. Like I have my own drills which I wanted to do, but like I couldn't do it.
Might have gotten a freeze, Joe.
Yeah. Not sure what's happening. Oh, you back?
You there, Victor?
Yeah, I can hear you very well all the time. That was a problem.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just your internet just cutting in and out on us. What do you got, Joe?
Yeah, so I'm curious, when the post came out about you making a decision for World Nineball Tour, you saw all the comments that came in under that with people really excited about it and supporting you. I'm curious about some of the other Polish players. Have they reached out, and what have they said to you?
I mean, like I don't want to say how does it look like, but some of them will stay in a WPA structure because, like it's not the secret that we have some great foundation for some tournaments, that we have some money from them, which is like good, and I really appreciate that. But like sometimes like right now I will not.
It reminds me of whenever I was a kid, Joe. We had the CD player. The CD would start skipping a little bit.
Are you back, Victor?
Yeah. I mean, like maybe I can try to fix it somehow.
Okay.
Just try refreshing for us. We'll send you to the back real quick. Just refresh your browser, and we'll see if that'll clean it up a little bit.
The more I talk with Victor, the more I love the kid, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't want to come out and say anything bad about the other Polish players. He doesn't even want to say he's the best. And I think you and I think he might be the best, right? But he's got a lot of respect for his countrymen. And, it's just good to hear him talk about, his decision. And I'd like to dive in a little more about why he chose Matchroom, over the WPA, because obviously with the federation there, that means a lot. So It was a tough decision for him. So I want to kind of get to some of his future plans and why Matchroom sets him up for that compared to WPA.
Listen, Polish team is so strong. I would say, probably outside of maybe the Philippines and Taiwan, probably the strongest. And for me, the strongest European
for a country.
Yeah, for a country. Let me bring him on in. I think he's back here and refreshed. Victor, can you hear us, buddy?
Yeah, I can hear you very well.
Perfect.
Don't know. Sorry for the problem. Like,
no, you're fine. You're fine. Go ahead, Joe.
I hear you all the time. There are no any interruptions from my I don't know. Hopefully, right now it's gonna be better. Yeah, but coming back, many factors. But I just want to have some more freedom, let's say. And as I say, I still have some ambitions and I have some dreams I hope will come true. I always wanted to be a part of many Matchroom, events. I want to be a part of the Moscone team, which I really hope it will become a success this year. That's what I'm looking forward to. But yeah, we'll see. Unfortunately, this happens. The WPA decides. It's not the decision which like none of the players wanted this decision. Actually, like
Right.
all of us are quite disappointed, but it's how it is. We have to move forward and like let's see what's gonna happen.
So maybe you can shed some insight for us because from the WPA standpoint, they stated if you're playing in any non-sanctioned events, you will not be able to play WPA events. By joining the World Nineball Tour, is that going to prevent you or limit you from playing events like the World 8 Ball, World 10 Ball, events like that, Victor?
Yeah, I think like if I gonna play any like non-sanctioned event after the 1st of March, I won't be able to play any WPA sanctioned event for 6 months, and I think there is a fine of $500, or
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but uh, if I play after 1st March, I don't know what will be the first matchroom event on the calendar. But if I gonna take part in it, like I will not be able to play anymore the WPA events or EPBF or Polish Federation events like for months.
Are you still hoping to make a run at the World 10 Ball then, just given that it's before the deadline?
Yeah, hopefully I will be able to play. Like, let's see. I think there shouldn't be any issues, so I'm looking forward for the World Tennis Championships, and of course, like Alpha Las Vegas Open right before it.
You do pretty well at that event, Victor. You've had a
Yeah,
little bit of success
yeah,
there.
I like this event. Quite
Yeah.
good.
Victor, you mentioned the Moscone Cup, and obviously that's a little different event than the traditional matchroom calendar, but it's the marquee event. It's the event that most European and American players, I think, want to play in. How big of a factor is the Moscone Cup, or was the Moscone Cup, in your decision making to choose the World Nineball Tour?
How big? I mean, like as I told you, I still have some ambitions and I still have dreams, and I want to like fulfill my dreams and like become. I hope they all will become one day true. So yeah, that's one of my goals, and I will do everything to be able to play there. But it's not gonna be easy because, like as you can see, like probably all top Europeans signed already with Matchroom, so it's not gonna be easy. Uh, so yeah, it was big factor for me as well.
But you can earn it, right? So, it's not like in the past where 5 players would get chosen. Now you can actually earn it on points, right? Because the team that they have has been the same team for 2 years, but it's not guaranteed, right? So you have a chance to earn it. So,
Yeah, I mean it's all about the ranking points. So like if I do well, I will like earn the spot. Like that's what I'm looking forward to.
Yeah.
But I
You've
have
had
to
a
like many aspects on my game because like no, it's not easy. Especially like I was used to play on a 4.5 inch pocket. So like right now for me it's quite different game when you play on 4 inch pockets. Like it's also became like I think um, kind of different game like, for every ball anymore.
yeah,
Is he still there?
I think
You
so.
still
You
there,
still
buddy?
there, Victor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here.
Okay.
Okay.
um, we saw we saw you do really well last year, but we also saw times throughout the year where you kind of struggled a bit with the mental aspect of it. When you were facing maybe adversity in a match, you kind of your body language says you're going through it when you're out there battling. Have there been specific things that you've been working on when it comes to the mental game to help kind of build that aspect of it?
Yeah, well, I started working with a psychologist for the last couple of months because, like, I got the problems to, uh, like, close the match out. Especially like, for example, at the U.S. Open, as you could, for example, see with David or Aloysius later in the quarterfinals. Like, I struggled a lot. Like, it's different arena, it's different pressure. Also, like, you know, I couldn't understand what happened to me at World Masters. like I didn't know what happened to me. Like I couldn't make like easy balls. Like I missed like probably like 5, 6, maybe 7 like easy balls. I even missed the ball and hand. Like it
Ball,
was like
I remember. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm trying like to figure out and like improve my mental strength when it comes to the metro arena, because like you are feeling that it's something bigger, you're feeling that you're playing for bigger audience, like say like
Right.
it's like Sky Sports and like worldwide, let's say, and some like on WPA events, like it depends. Like I think it's something different, like especially when you compare like China Open, for example, when you can play like in some cave, like there, because on the China Open there are like 8 table upstairs and 8 table downstairs, and downstairs like there is like only like 4 white walls and that's it, and only like there is nothing like in Greece.
Yeah.
But that's how it is. Like, and there is like no one over there, so you're playing like just for yourself, and you're playing like on a uh, practice room. It's not on a mat like this anymore.
That Moscone stage is a different kind of pressure, Victor. Do you think you
Yeah,
got what it
yeah,
takes to handle it?
yeah. I mean, like, I don't know. I I haven't figured out it yet, but for sure it's different pressure. I
Yeah.
mean, not always, but like especially the events which you always dreamed of, like World Masters. Like when I was the kid, like years, like I always wanted like to play there, because like 10 years ago it was like this was probably the biggest event throughout the year, the World Masters, and I
Right.
always wanted to be a part of it. Like last year it was like my debut, and I didn't know what happened to me. Even though I was quite lucky because I got 3 golden breaks, it didn't help me out to close the match. Like I lost that with Dodong, but like hopefully this year will be better. Like I'm working hard on it, and like we'll see.
I,
Well,
I want to ask you about that because that's a phenomenon that anybody who's played pool before has experienced, right? Where you go out there one day, you play great. You go out there another day, it's like you forgot how to play pool. No matter how long you've played, you always have like a day that'll pop up somewhere where you're just not performing the way you can perform. What do you think through mentally? What do you go through at that moment to try to get things back on track?
Tough question. I don't know. Like it just happens. Like when it happens, I don't know what to do exactly. Like because like I have some like I cannot see the balls, and I don't know what to like to do to start seeing them. Like it just sounds that you
right.
can't control it. Well, you can work on it, but like sometimes it's out of your control, and that's what happened to me. Uh, at some like in some matches, I don't know.
That
Like it's also about the experience. Uh, like there are a lot of players who are much more experienced than me, and they can handle it better. But let's see, it's also about the experience, about like playing on that arena. And I think with each next year, it will be better and better for me.
That's actually really refreshing to hear because I know a lot of us have struggled at times, and I appreciate your honesty there that sometimes we just can't figure it out. So thank you for that answer, because now I feel encouraged that even the best players in the world, like yourself, go through periods of time like that. So
Yeah, I mean, it it happens like 10 years ago it was about going like for like some tournament in Poland, and like playing like semis or finals like with like in junior competitions. Like there was a big pressure for me, like with each next like chapter in your career, like
Right.
there is different pressure. There's like different pressure on every tournament, and like see what's gonna happen with your body, and like learn from it. That's
yeah.
that's my point of view. Like like always, like when it's your first time, it's always kind of different. but I believe with each next time it's gonna be easier and easier for me to adapt.
At what point did you think, I got a real shot at playing these big events? I got a real shot at playing a World Pool Masters. I got a real chance at making a Moscone Cup. Like, how old were you when like you thought, I think I can do this. I think this can be a reality.
Well, I don't know. Like, I still don't know if I'm ready for it, but like I believe like I'm able to do it. But I don't know since when I got this vision. Like, right now it's more clear that you have like uh, you can earn the spot from the rankings. Like 10 years ago, like even 5 years ago, like I was still like junior player, and like I didn't even think about Moscone. Like I was watching on TV and cheering always for Team Europe, but uh, right now it's getting like I think like I have a chance to be there, but like I have to play well. I have to show my 100% on the table, but I have to work hard for it. But as I told you, it's not gonna be easy because you have to play well at all tournaments. It's not about like one good
What's
tournament.
what's your training like when you're getting ready for a big event? How many hours are you putting in on the table? How many days a week are you practicing? What's that grind like for you?
Well, it depends. Also, like of the university, because like as you know, like I'm still a student, so I had to make up after some tournament, like all the notes and like tests, like pass all the exams, and after that, like always like when I got free time, pool table and trying to spend there as many hours as I can. So depends.
Victor, one of the challenges now, there's a lot of tournaments to play in, right? World Nineball Tour is going to have a lot of events, but along with that comes a lot of expenses. And so now with this decision that you've made, are you feeling any pressure about kind of the cost of getting to some of these events? And, do you have any, like, what are your plans for making sure? I mean, you're just going to try to win every event so you can finance it, but what is there any stress related to that?
Well, of course, there's always like you always want to make money. You don't want to like lose the money. And I know that maybe uh, in like financial aspect, maybe the better decision would be to stay in the WPA, because right now there will not be uh, so many great players, so it could be easier to make some money for our top players. But we'll see. I think like this year, well, like I don't know what to expect really. Like if I gonna play well, if I gonna be a top three European, like and if I got the spot for Moscone, or because it's always great bonus for you if you will be the part of those events. Also, hopefully, like World Masters, I think I got good chances to earn the spot through the rankings. But then I don't know. We'll see. Like how many? Like I think there will be 6 or 7 majors plus all these invitational events, and I don't know about like some sanctioned events by the Metro, like Derby. It's not gonna be.
Are you going to Derby City this year?
Yeah, yeah. I booked the tickets like 10 days ago, so I will be there.
Nice. We'll have to catch up some more whenever we're out there. I'm excited. It's a long grind. Derby City is long event.
Yeah, yeah. It's gonna be my first time when I will play like all three disciplines, like one pocket, box, and netball. Like 2 years
What's
ago, I
what's your
already.
one pocket game like, Victor?
Well, I think it's not that bad as for the European. You know.
How have you been practicing, or have you been practicing at all to get ready for the one pocket and the banks?
Well, banks, I'm like I can practice in alone, but like one pocket is quite like in my hometown there is no one who can play that well in one pocket. So like in practicing one pocket alone, it's quite tough. We'll see. It's gonna be like my first test playing like some one pocket tournament, also banks tournaments. We'll see how far I can go.
We
I
might,
hope.
we might. There's a few Europeans who make deep runs. Darren plays pretty good one pocket. Dennis Gray plays pretty good one pocket. Of course, we all know Josh and Federer. Although I think you can consider Federer American now, according to Moscone Cup. But there's a couple of European players who play pretty well. Alex Laley plays pretty good one pocket. I'm sure you know also.
Yeah. I mean, like I also he also we practiced some banks and wherever we played a bit of one pocket, but like we more focused on the safety games and other things because like one pocket is not that popular and I got different goals, but it's also nice to play well one pocket because then you can be much more better at safety game and nine ball for it's also like uh, let's see drill. I don't know, like it's good practice one pocket
Yeah.
for, but you need to have the player like who can play really well, like at your level. Like
Yeah, one good thing about Derby City or these big one pocket tournaments is that if you haven't played a lot of one pocket, just by taking it round by round and getting through matches, it's almost like you have a really increased learning curve where by the end of the event you might be twice as good a player as you were at the beginning of the event. There's a lot you can learn and get better, and I'm sure you'll do just fine. In fact, I'm going to predict today, Melina, that Wiktor is going to make it to at least round 6 in the one pocket. Mark
How
it,
many
lock it up.
how many rounds are there? How many
I
rounds
don't
are there?
know, but he'll make at least 6. He'll win at least 6, maybe more. You
6.
got to live up to this, Wiktor.
I mean, I think it's usually 14 rounds or something like this, maybe.
Ah,
All
so
right,
6 is
7.
nothing.
We'll say 7. He'll be in the top half of the field.
Well, we'll see. I think the patience will be the key for me. I'm a patient guy, and I can't imagine like playing like 5 matches straight, like one pocket games. Like gonna be terrible for me because like, well, you have to be really patient. You cannot go for everything there.
Yeah. Well,
There's a
Wiktor, I
lot.
know you were on the edge of your seat because yesterday on the Doggin show, we had our players to watch for 2024, and I know you were dying to know if you were going to be on there. You were on there. And but what I want to talk to you about is another player that was on there and kind of get your perspective on this player, and it's Daniel Maciel. We were talking about him, how he's kind of scratching, knocking on the door, getting close, doing really well in events. What do you think of his game?
Oh yeah, like we always been great friends. We always played like a lot of junior events. Like he's great. Like he's getting better and better. And we'll see where he will finish. Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. Like what's his decision right now? He's staying in the WP or in the Nineball Tour. But yeah, like great player. Like with each next year, his results are better and better. So we'll see. I'm wishing him good luck. But yeah, like so many great players in Poland. Like
Yeah.
as I told you, it's tough to judge like who's better and whatever. Like I don't want to say who's better, who's worse, or wherever.
Yeah.
All about to the audience, like to you who can judge us, like who's better. Also, like wizards.
So many great guys, so many great guys, and even women players out there in Poland. I know you played in the world teams this year, no? In Puerto
Yeah,
Rico.
yeah.
It
We do.
it wasn't the results you guys were hoping for though.
Yeah. It was also one of the factors which, like made me that decision to sign with the World Nineball Tour because I didn't like a few things there, like our national coach. I didn't like some of his decisions, which like I didn't do well there, and like like I didn't like some things about there, but I don't want to talk at it like
Yeah, that's
about.
fair.
But like we played there. We got of course bigger expectations, but in the end, like it was all about me. That like I was the uh, biggest loser on the team, and like that's what I didn't like, especially match where we played with the South Korea for the direct. Yeah, if we won that match, we would already be in the quarterfinals, but we didn't, and we had to win with the Great Britain at least 3-1, but we didn't. We won 3-2, and I lost one match. And after this, it was like I heard the thing like that. I played without any uh, without passion. Like I didn't want to win, and after you.
Well, I'm not sure where things like that were said, Victor, but I know it wasn't anywhere around here because there's a lot of things that I would use to describe your game. Lack of passion ain't one of them, buddy. Lack of heart isn't
Yeah.
isn't one of them either. You got the world of talent and top shelf abilities, man. So everyone's gonna have their ebbs and flows with it for sure. But I don't think anyone, especially around this show, would say that about you.
Yeah, but listen, it wasn't the first time. It also was after the World Games. Like it also I lost with Karol Obiado in the first round in a hill match, and after that I heard that I didn't want to win this match. I looked like I didn't play with the passion of whoever. I looked like and I said like
Yeah.
You think some of that? Do you think some of that might be attributed to the fact that when you do get down in the match, sometimes like you can see it on your face more than other people? Melina alluded to that earlier, where sometimes where you get frustrated, you can kind of see that you're upset or frustrated, where other players kind of keep more of a stone face.
well, I don't know. Sometimes I'm sad. Sometimes if I'm frustrated, but I'm always trying to give. Not 100%, even 110%. So more than 100, but it's like I'm always trying to fight till the end. To when I go to the tournament, which I want to play, I'm always trying to give my best and play under the last ball. So that's not the point. But I heard that many times. I didn't look like I wanted to win, or I didn't play I wanted to win. So it's not the things which you want to hear.
Yeah.
And this was also one of the factors which I signed with the World Nineball Tour. There were many factors because I didn't like this. I couldn't be in this
Yeah.
anymore.
I don't think that's mutually exclusive. Being frustrated or wearing the pressure of a match doesn't, to me, equate to giving up. I mean, I've seen players that have give up and they're just two stroking balls, and but it's different than if you just mentally just coming up short, and that just happens at times. So that's disappointing to hear for sure.
Yeah. It was I don't know what that I wanted to explain it with the with our coach, but it wasn't possible also with the other guys. You know, it's what it is. I wish still all the best to all players staying there and to the federation to promote the sport in Poland. But it was my decision, my factors, which I still I don't want to say only bad things. I still like many things which Polish Federation is doing because they are also doing some great job to some extent with promoting the period. But it was if we have a coach where his decision making me worst player sometimes. I don't want this anymore.
Yeah.
Well, I would
It's
still
counterproductive. It's his
You got to
job
be
to
in a
figure out a way
positive
to
environment.
to
Yeah.
motivate you and get you to
I
play
would
your
probably
best.
still be there, but right now there was a decision and factors that I didn't like, and
Give
it just said for me that I wanted to change some things like. Even before the World Nineball Championships in Poland, I wanted to go for the practice at the venue, but I had to practice at the National Billiard Center, and it was like, our coach, the decision. And when I told him that I have some suggestions from my coach, which is Alex, like, I got some drills which I like wanted to do on the diamond tables, not on dynamic tables. Like, I got the answer that if I have anything like against his decision, like I can, like, resign from the national team. And that was it. Like, for example, like year ago, and like on my like.
Wow.
Sounds like there
That's
were a lot of factors at play, and sorry
Yeah,
that all
like,
happened to you.
a couple of decisions. Like, it was like, just a couple of the stories. Like,
Well, Victor, oh, sorry. Can you hear us?
yeah.
So going into this 2024 campaign, who are your sponsors that are going to kind of help you out?
Oh, it's Prator, which I'm like, on the team for, like, we are together for, I believe, 6 years or seven maybe already. I really like them. Like, we are in good relationships and great cooperation. And like I will be there for many more years. And the second one is a book game, which is like, the company which can, like, doing some. You can have, it's a system where you can where the club can buy it, and you can book the tables online. You can come to the club having a table, like, to avoid the situation that you're coming into the club and there is no free table and you couldn't
nice.
book the, like, it's easier because in Poland there are so many clubs which are uh, buying it, and, like, uh, are happy with it because, like, you can book the table online, pay online, and coming to the tables, you're the balls and going to play. And also it's big help with for the workers in a beer club because they don't have to answer the phones, like, answer the questions, and if there is a free table or not, the customers can just book online the table.
It's
We
called
have
Pool Game.
book game.
Book.
Book Game. Book Game.
Yeah.
Okay, like booking. I like it.
How hey, is the pool scene in Poland blowing up like that? Is there a lot more recreational players given all y'all success on the world stage?
Oh, we have some right now. I think Szymon Kural is, like, one of the biggest prospects. Our Polish, like, players. Like, he's 18 years old, or maybe 19.
Kural, Kural, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Kid plays jam up.
Great run in the Qatar Open. He was further. He beat so many top players, and he falls short to Joshua there, but he's quite good right now. Yeah. But we'll see always. Like, as you can see, like, every 5 years, there's always someone new from Poland who can go very, very deep in all events. And, like, this is what's happening in Poland, and hopefully it will continue like this because, like, we have big community, big full community in Poland, like a lot of fans in Poland, and you can feel it. Like, I can feel it. Like, each of the top players can feel their support, which I'm really grateful for. Like, from there, I want to thank to all, like, Polish supporters. Means a lot.
Let's talk about that for a second because we've had a lot of jokes and other things talk about federations and WPA and all that. But how instrumental was that structure and the things they provided to you to the success that you've had now as a professional player? Like, give us some insight. What was do you? Because I've heard stories. I had a buddy of mine say that you guys have tables in schools over there. You got your own club for you guys to be able to train in. What's it really like for you guys playing out there and training?
Well, I mean, like, it's good plan, let's say, because, like, it can encourage the young kids to start playing the pool, but it's mostly on the small towns where, like, there are no the, like, teachers who can, like, teach them something like usually like it's good that like you can encourage the kids to play the pool, but to be honest, like in my point of view, like it didn't help me that much because like I opted like it's just tough topic for me because like I don't want to say some bad things because
Yeah.
I got problems with it. But it's like good way to promote the sport among the kids. Like, like there will be uh, some future stars from this program, but we'll see. Like right now, uh, from all top Polish players, no one was from that program. That like uh, neither me, Wojciech, Konrad, or Mieszko, like took up the cue at the billiard score and started playing. Like we got all like different stories. I believe, but like it's. Uh,
What's your story? How'd you start?
uh, like one day I saw the snooker on the Eurosport, and like I was 8 years old or something like this, and I wanted to try this. So my grandmother at that time like bought me some like really like small billiard table,
Yeah.
like just for a young kid. Uh, and one day, my mom with dad like brought me to the billiard, which was like 2 minutes away from our home. But there was only one snooker table, and there was much more pool tables, and pool was easier for me at the time because snooker table was too big. But I liked it. We started going there every week, and one day my mother signed me up for uh, some kind of billiard school. I started playing. You know, like I just wanted to try out, like
That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's awesome.
right now
Well,
I'm here.
well, hey, listen, we really appreciate your time. Joey's got to run, and but I know you got a lot of things looking forward to in 2024. We're all really excited to watch you play, Victor. We can't wait to see you go out there and compete. What's your first event that you're going to be heading out to this year, outside of Derby?
I think then it's gonna be Vegas, the Alpha Las Vegas Open, and hopefully World Temple. But I don't know. I still need to get the permission from the Polish Billiard Federation, and I hope I will get it. Like, I don't want to have like any bad relationship with them anymore, but I just can't accept some things, which I told you right now.
Yeah.
It's how it is. I wanted to change it, but like, you know, so many things which I did. Like I was once at the national meeting right before the World Games, and it was fun because like it was my first time practicing with our national coach, and I was surprised. Like listen, like I got the jewels for player, which is like 500 Fargo or something like this.
Well, 500 Fargo in our book, Victor, and we really appreciate you coming out and speaking with us. And, rest assured, you are on our players to watch for 2024. We're going to be keeping a close eye on you, and we'd love to have you back in after you snap off the World 10 Ball or a big World Nineball Tour event. Deal?
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me here. I had a great time, and hopefully see you at the derby.
We're going to
Okay.
talk at the Derby, my man.